Welcome back. It is episode 2 of a series. I'm not sure how many videos. We did skip Wailing Caverns. I was going to release that video yesterday, but the path was pretty self-explanatory. All of my videos will be focused around 12-minute runs and min-maxing the lockout period. So getting the most amount of dungeons in the 1 hour window lockout period, which is 5. You can have 5 entrance exits, re-entries, resets, and it does seem to be a little bit buggy. They say that you can only reset 5 times, but in actuality, if you end up leaving the instance and going back in and you're not resetting, it sometimes counts that and it can scuff a lot of the runs. So try and just be aware. I've personally messed this up a few times, and when you're getting into 30, 40 runs a day, it can definitely happen. So today we'll be covering RFK levels 22 to 28, and the XP is pretty good. The dungeon difficulty is extremely hard. The ratings, I'll show this here, is RFK at the bottom of the list. The mobs are increasingly harder as you go back. They have stuns, they have totems, they have healing wards, they have earth grab totems. It is just a mess. So I found a path that we're going to be going left, and we're pulling mostly boars, 10 to 12 minute runs. And if you could speed this up even faster somehow, you would actually have time to run to Camp Tarajo and run back, which is about a 20-minute run. So let's get into it, and we'll go over the run. Boom, boom. Ice is off. We are running down the hallway. Right here, you can actually take a left and pull that entire section. You'll see it in the next pull to this area as well. I actually got this run down even better than this. Unfortunately, it seems like when I recorded both the RFC and this run, I seem to scuff the run somehow. You can ice block in most dungeons. I did this in Wailing Caverns, and the aggro did not leash. They did not run away because I had enough threat where the mobs do not run away. So I think anything can pull aggro. I don't care if it's buffing yourself. If you have a priest, druid, or whatever, they can stand all the way back at the entrance, which I suggest, until you've pulled both this side and the other side. Or if you're doing them in 2 separate pulls, they can come out loot, and now you go into the second pull, and we're going to hop down over here. So remember, if you're being carried, if you're doing this and you're carrying people, tell them, do not cast spells. There's no reason for you to be casting spells until I'm doing damage, or I'm just taking an excessive amount of damage, in which case you should probably just reset. So that's the second pull right there. Always LOSing. I did probably 10 runs before this one, and I actually started a tracker to begin actually tracking how many runs we were doing over the course of a day. Now, what I was saying, I'm going to pause this real quick, is if you pull both sides, so you did that last pull that you saw, the second one, and you do the first one, you can actually just hop down on the other side instead of having to run this vine, and you can cut this time down by, I think, another 30 to 40 seconds. But again, if you don't do a run in like 7 minutes, I don't think it's worth trying to cut down the runs, and instead just going 12 minutes, be safe, consistently clear, and do the dungeons. So here's the next pull. We are pulling up to this corner. I always pull up to this corner, level 60 mage, full pre-bis. I don't actually have good farming gear. I think if I had good farming gear, this would be even better. I would be able to cast more spells, have more health, basically take more damage without using as much mana because I don't have to be spamming Ice Shield off cooldown, which is pretty good chunk of mana. I think it's 459 or something like that. Now, I do the entire boar section in 2 pulls. So I do that first section, and then we go right into the second pull. And the final pull before we do the bristles at the end, which you will see, and those mobs always vary. It's important to note that resists and mob variation will happen in these dungeons. I did close to 50 or more RFK runs. I stopped tracking. The casters and net guys vary, as well as hunters in the first packs. You'll see this as well. So sometimes you'll have to switch up. Maybe you won't blizzard. Maybe you'll have to cold snap here and not be able to cold snap on the next pull. So keep that in mind when pulling. Exactly. Using counterspell, AoE there. Always arc and explosioning so that I don't have to turn around. Blinking is absolutely one of the best things you can do once they get a hit on you. Just like if you're PvPing a warrior, right? One of the best things you can do is allowing a melee unit, creature, player to get a proc of ice armor on them so that they're extremely slow, and then blinking away. Never blink before the mobs hit you unless there are so many mobs and you're a lower level and you might die. Then obviously blink to safety and reset. But in this case, we're in a dungeon. The mobs aren't going to reset. So that's that. Now that pull is always LOS'd around that corner. You ice block. I typically wait. Depending on cooldowns, I'll try and wait out for ice shield, etc. Now on that one, I also used too much mana. I shouldn't have blizzarded the second time. I didn't have shield, so I actually wasted about 1200 mana and was forced to wand them down. Again, these pulls got better and better. Typically, I only blizzarded once, especially if there was I missed a mob or one resists. Big deal. Do not waste so much mana on blizzarding. Now this pull is completely RNG. You'll see this is what the rest of the dungeon looks like. Now add a few levels, totems, and you will not love this place, let me tell you, because they have increased level, which means more HP, and then there is more mob diversity. So there's not only the wardens, which are the guys with the flags who throw the nets, which you should pull last on this pull so that you can LOS. So I run by a lot of the guys and then pull them as I'm running towards the LOS spot. But on the other side, there's also the ground slam guys who the RNG is through the roof. They stun you so much you don't fall down like you saw in the RFC video. And then they have the totem guys. They have the adepts. There's mana burn guys. It is a bad show that you don't want to go to. So follow this guide. It's a 10-minute pull. Once you get it down, you can even get it down to about 8-9 minutes. And like I said, get that extra vendor time. So if you guys like this video, please make sure to hit that huge thumbs up. Let me know what you liked about it in the comments below, or what you didn't like. Let me know what you want to see next time, or tune into the stream today starting in about 30 minutes, and we're going to get right into SM Graveyard and then hopefully all the way up to Cathedral today and continue that run. All right, see you guys later. Thanks.